Hi, this is David Kirk. This is a look at Homework 3. Homework 3 should have 3 sheets to it. There's the payroll sheet, the conversion sheet, and the lotto sheet. You can add new sheets by hitting the plus sign, and to rename the sheets, just double click right on the name. Okay, on the first sheet, you should try to duplicate what we have on the instructions, even the formatting, meaning the lines and colors and stuff like that. Now, for doing the titles up here, I would recommend doing this merge and center. If you select some cells, like I'm going to select some cells over here, and I hit the merge and center, that merges them all together, so now when I type in a title, it will be centered. Then you can change the font to something bigger too. Okay, so now, oh yeah, to draw the lines here around the data, all you do is, I do this thick box border, and it outlines whatever selection you have. So if I select these cells right here, for example, and now do this, drop this down and do the thick box border, then I'll click off of it and you can see how it does the thick box border around that. So you can just do that for each one of these right here to draw those lines. I'll undo that. Okay, so now in a spreadsheet, please put your name right here as one of the employees. A spreadsheet usually has the data part and then the calculation part. The whole reason we have Excel is for the formulas to do the calculations. It's like an automatic calculator where we type in the formulas. Okay, so the data part, you'll just type in these numbers for the data part right here. Oh, and by the way, right here to get the dollar sign, you just type in the number, but up here on the toolbar, on the home toolbar, there's a little dollar sign, and that formats those cells for accounting currency. Okay, so now again, you'll just type in the data part, but it's very important, it's a big part of your grade too, that you get the formulas in for the calculations. For example, gross pay. That's the total pay. And to get the total pay, we would add up their total hours, which would be 80 hours for this employee, for you, and multiply it by your hourly rate, which is $14.50. But to do that, what we do, we don't just do it ourselves, we type in the formula. And we can see the formula. If I click on this cell, you can see the formula up here in the formula bar where you can edit it, or you can double click on the cell and edit the formula right in place. So I have other videos that talk about how to do formulas, but these formulas, you can look at them right here or see them in the instructions. So all formulas begin with an equal sign, and here we're multiplying C6, which will be the 1450, times the sum of D6 through G6, which will be all their hours. And so I'll just hit escape, and so that gives us the gross pay. And the great thing about typing in the formulas like that is if I change any of the data, like if I were to change this to 50, notice that the gross pay changes automatically, even my chart down here. So I'm going to undo that. Okay, now tax is 20%. That, we're just taking the value that's in H6 and equals H6 and multiplying it times 0.2. We'll just give them 20%. We'll just take 20% tax. And then the net pay, net means the difference. That's what's actually on your paycheck. So that's gross pay minus tax. And so that's just equals to cell H6 minus I6. Okay, and then also, so all of these are formulas right here that you'll need to type in. Maybe you'll learn about copying and pasting them if you watch the video. And also the totals are formulas. So here that's equal to the sum of these cells, D6 through D11, to get the sum. Okay, so now the chart, let me just delete this chart to show you how to do this. Well, the chart, we're charting their gross pay, which are these numbers here, but notice the chart also has their names on it, so we need to also select their names over here. So I'm just going to delete this chart to show you how to do it. What we do is we select the names, and then I'm going to hold my control key and add to the selection the gross pay. And now if I do the insert, then this column chart in 3D chart, it doesn't show the names on there. Hang on just a second. Somehow I clicked off of something. I'm going to select the names, hold the control key and select the gross pay amounts. And now do the insert 3D chart, and now it has the names on there. Okay, so now you can, of course, if you grab it on its corner, you can move it down to where it needs to go, and then you can stretch it by grabbing it there. Chart, please change the chart title to what it shows in the instructions. Just double click on that. You can click on the names down here, make them larger, probably 12 point looks a little bit better on that. And then I can click on the chart bars, or double click on the chart bars, and now click on the paint bucket right here, and I can fill those, say, with a solid. That didn't do them all. Let me see. That just did one of them. Oh well. I guess I have to select them all to do that. There they go. So now I can just do a solid fill on all of those right there. I should redo this video, right, with a couple mistakes in there. Okay, now the background, if you click on the background over here, just like in a blank area right here, you could do something like a gradient fill. That's what I have in the instructions to do that. Okay, now, so let's click on the conversion sheet. Now, the conversion sheet, again, here's a nice title where you can merge and center to get that, make the font size larger. Now, each one of these, there's 6 different conversions here. And each one is a place where you type in the data, and then it converts that number. Now, you can type any number you want. I could type 75 here. And then notice it automatically converted that 75 from 75 miles to 120 kilometers. And to do that, we have 6 formulas in here. So the formula for the first one, I'll double click on it where we can see it. And it's equal, convert, and then within parentheses, cell F5, where I type in my data, and then from miles to kilometers. And so you can see it here. You'll find that in the instructions also. So now for each one of these, you'll need to look up in the instructions what the abbreviation, in Excel help or on the internet, what the abbreviations for each of the conversions is. For example, kilograms, this from pounds to kilograms, this might not be as intuitive. If I double click on the kilograms, notice that for pounds, the conversion is LBM and kilograms is kg. And again, you can type in any number right here. So I can type in 77, and now that converts it from 77 pounds to that many kilograms. Okay, so now the third sheet is a little bit harder. And the third sheet, I wanted you to get some experience with loading some data from an external data source. And now that we're living in the internet age, there's so much data available online. And the day's going to come when you need to grab some data off the internet and bring it into Excel or maybe a database and format it. So to do this, I've given you a link. I want you to download all Texas Lottery picks from the beginning of time, which was 1992, to the present. The instructions is not quite updated to the present. Now to do that, I've given you a link in the homework, and if you click on that link, and it takes you straight to the page where I would download that file. And now I'm going to click on the download file, and this is actually going to open it up it's going to open up a comma separated values file, which is a different file format, but it does open in Excel by default. And it's going to open up in a separate sheet. So I'm going to do this, and here it opens up. And again, this is a separate sheet. Notice that I don't have my other sheets in here. So I'm going to, after I get my numbers here, I'm going to copy and paste to my other one, and then just close this one out. Okay, now first of all, this first column we don't need. That's just very redundant. It just says Lotto Texas all the way down. So I can just right click on the column A and hit delete, and that's gone. Now the other thing I want you to do is sort these with the newest drawing on top. Notice that this is the oldest drawing, 1992, and the newest drawing is all the way down here at the bottom. So to sort those, what I'm going to do first is select them all. So if you click anywhere in here and then Control A to select, that selects the entire sheet. Now I'm going to click on Data on my menu bar here. And now we've got this option to sort, and I'm going to click on that. And now sorting's a little tricky, but I've given you a screen print of what you need to do here. And the first thing we do, we've got the month, the day, and the year. Now to sort it like this, since the date isn't in just one column, we're going to have to sort by all three columns, starting with the year. So we're going to start with column C, and now we're going to sort it from largest to smallest. So basically we want the current year to be on top and then 1992 to be on bottom, largest to smallest. Now if two rows have the same year, we need to look at the month. So I'm going to add a level, and now we're going to look at the month, which is column A, and we're going to go largest to smallest. We want December on top of January. And then finally, if they're in the same month, then we're going to look at column B, and this one we're going to go largest to smallest again. And now after I do that, now I've sorted all of these with the newest drawing on top and the oldest on the bottom. And while they're still selected, why don't you Control C to copy, and so now I can go back to my other sheet, and I'm just going to put it in the top left where I want it, and I'm going to paste, and now I've got all of those numbers in my sheet that I'm actually working on here. And while they're still selected, let's go ahead and we can do a thick box border around it, around the whole thing. You can also shade them too. I think in the instructions I have them shaded. But if you want us to do something a little cooler, I'm just going to select all the actual picks, the 6 ping pong balls. I'm going to select them all the way down. It takes forever. If you hold your mouse at the very bottom of the screen, it works faster. If you're using a trackball, a touchpad, get a mouse. Okay, so now I have them all selected. Now, one cool thing that I like doing is this conditional formatting up here. And I'm going to do the color scales, and then you can select one of these here and click it. And what it does is it color codes all of your data. This one, the smallest numbers, which basically 1, makes red. The largest numbers, 54, makes blue, and then does all the shades in between. So I think that looks pretty good to do stuff like that. And again, on this sheet and the conversion sheet, you can do your own formatting. Okay, now, we've got to do our formulas. Number of drawings. And this has got to be a formula. We're going to use the count formula, but we're basically going to count. We're just going to select one column. It doesn't matter which one, because it's just going to count the number of cells. So I'm just going to select one, which would be E10, and then I'm going to scroll all the way down, and my very bottom one is 2338. Now if you're doing this at a later date, your bottom one's going to be bigger because we're adding 6 new numbers every drawing. So mine is 2338. Okay, so I'm just going to count, which will be equal count from E10 to E2338. And so again, that just counts the number of cells in this range that goes all the way down. And so that tells me there's been 2,329 drawings. Okay, now the average of all the balls, you need to select this whole range. You need to count the entire range going down. And to do that, the first number in the average will be the top left and the bottom one will be the bottom right. Well, remember the bottom row is 2338. So the formula here is going to be equals average from E2338 colon to E10, top left one, colon to J2338. And so that selects them all the way down. It selects this entire square range of balls from the top left to the bottom right. And so that tells us the average ball, the average of the balls. Now to do the smallest, it's going to be very similar to doing the average, but you're going to use the min function. The largest, you're going to use the max function. And the most frequent ball, you'll use the mode function. And so and just use your same range, whichever it is. Again, your range may not be 2338 because you'll probably be doing this at a later date. So anyway, I think that's about it. Since this is a video, I can't ask you if you got any questions. Haha. Okay, so anyway, good luck. Email me with questions, and see you later.